She Wasn't Born Yesterday for Women Who Are 40 Plus Fabulous by the Empty Nest Chicks. I'm Janet Evans, ex-M&C Saatchi advertising creative, who have won numerous radio and TV awards. Not that that'll affect us because we're doing a podcast.
And I'm Dr. Amelia Haines, who has been a medical doctor for 30 years and specialising in sexual health and mental health and relationships, and I'm generally a very useful human being.
Well, we'll find out about that, but we are here to work together.
People tell me on good authority that I am.
Really? Yes, well, they never say that to me, so I think we're the perfect hosts for She Wasn't Born Yesterday. Dr. Amelia, well, we're here today to talk about dating over 40.
Yes.
Risky, tricksy, how to do it safely and sexily. Well, I mean, we've all heard of, all of the apps that are around today.
Yes. Well, have we all heard about them? But anyway.
That is a very good point. I'm glad you said that because did you know dating apps have been around since 95? It was Match.com. And that's nearly 30 years ago.
Yes.
But, that's when we were 10. So, but today there are so many. And I think we've all heard of Tinder, we've heard of Grindr, Bumble, and the dreaded CougarD. Have you heard of that one?
Yes, I have heard of that one.
Have you? Really? Yeah. The number one dating app for older women dating younger men. Very romantic.
Yeah, I know. There's Elite Singles, which I always think is a very unattractive name. But anyway, yeah.
Because if you have to say you're elite, then chances are you're possibly not. But you may not realise there's also Sizzle, and this is for bacon lovers. Right. I'm in. I think that's a very, very important point of connection for people. Okay. There's also Bristler for bearded guys and those who want to date them.
Okay.
And there's another favourite of mine, Tin Dog, where dog lovers and their poochers meet. And I think that is a really, really good idea, especially if there's a bit of cavoodling in the process.
Yes.
But apps, I mean, the average age of women getting divorced in Australia is 43. Mm-hmm. And approximately 30% of marriages end in divorce. So if we find ourselves single again and we fancy getting back in the saddle, so to speak, what is the best way to do it? Because are apps the most fabulous way to meet a fabulous guy?
I would say there is no best way. So people need to actually listen to me on this one because my whole life, my whole professional life as a sex and relationship therapist is actually exactly on this. So I'm talking to single people all the time who are on every are trying everything. So, I mean, meeting people who know friends of yours, that's a very good way of meeting people, the old-fashioned, boring way of meeting people at work or
at the gym.
At the gym, at the coffee shop underneath where you work or, whatever it is. So the in-person meeting, it is almost like people think that never happens, but it does happen.
Yeah, but on the apps, isn't the idea that you actually meet in real life? I mean, obviously.
Well, you do eventually, don't you?
Yeah. But how many sort of goes do you have online before you meet up in real life, or is there no formula?
It sounds like you haven't been on any of the apps, which is good, Janet.
Well, my husband's listening probably. And,
yeah.
So I'm just
actually, my overwhelming thing that I'd like to say today as we talk about this is actually the thing that I hear from everyone, no matter what their personality type is, the thing that I hear from all of them about the dating apps is they're very time-consuming and very slow.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean time-consuming? Don't you just swipe right, swipe left, swipe right?
But then you have to talk and then you have to arrange to meet. No. If you do meet, actually within 5 minutes you might realise that actually
they're done.
No. This isn't on. So it's a lot of time out of your life. Whereas if you just cruise around a pub or a nightclub, you can tell very quickly that you're not interested in the 40 patrons who are in there, or there was only one out of the 40 that even vaguely interested you to talk to. But on a dating app, you have to have 40 dates to find that out. Do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of time-consuming nature of it that actually drives people crazy in the end. I was at a reunion for my own year of medicine, actually, on the weekend. The whole dating and the use of apps came up because one of the girls there had actually brought her new attachment and they'd met online. But she had been she actually had lost her husband. She had been on the app.
Deliberately? Or?
No.
Oh,
no.
Sorry.
No, I know.
It was inappropriate.
Massively tragic.
Yeah.
Anyway, she had kind of been trying the apps for a little while, after quite a long time after she had, her husband had died. So she'd been on them for a little while and really they were taking up a lot of time and they really weren't a winner. And so she really kind of went, this is the last time I'm going to try this. And so contacted this man and actually it was this man's first time on an app. First time on an app. They met. She said within 15 minutes she knew this was good. Like this was a positive connection and meeting of people. And so at the moment, that is all very positive.
Wow.
But I think, it's true. You can tell very quickly whether or not it's going to be a winner when you meet people in person. And it can be very time-consuming doing this whole app activity.
Well, see, I didn't realise about the time-consuming bit because, I just imagined it was super speedy that you instantly made a judgment based on what that person looks like.
I know, which is pretty thin.
Yes, I know, especially if people lie about what they look like.
Which, no they would never do
right?
that. Yeah.
Am I right? So does that mean you also have to go through that process of meeting them only to discover they look nothing like their photo and therefore that's a waste of time as well?
Mind you, let us not assume that people are so vacuous. Like I'm sure that sometimes, even though the person doesn't look identical to their photo, you find out they're actually really worthwhile and nice and you like them.
For their personality.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I must admit my LinkedIn profile photo is maybe 20 years old. So, I mean, we all do that, obviously. So how do you think the best way to approach dating an app should be? Like,
I think I think the whole meeting another person thing. This is my words of wisdom to everyone who's listening out there. It really is a case of it's a numbers game. It's a number. It is. It's a numbers game.
You make it sound so calculating, which I like. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's a numbers game, Janet. It really is. It's a case of meeting as many people as possible. And that is one of the drawbacks of the whole app thing because really you don't want to bog down your whole life with something that's going to be very slow and not provide anything really worthwhile. Not that you want, and a lot of people don't want to be horrible. You don't want to be horrible, but you want to be efficient.
Yes. So potentially you should just go out for a coffee and something quick, and then you can make that speedy assessment straight away and then cut and run, if you don't vibe it.
So that is, the majority of people tend to do is kind of meet up for something quick like coffee, which is not a bad idea.
A quickie. I mean, you do hear about, Tinder dates gone horribly wrong and also the lack of safety around dating on apps
I think people
appears
should
to be a problem.
Well, actually, my feeling is the lack of safety having dates in general has ever been thus. Like it's always been like that. So be sensible, people. You're not boring if you're sensible. Yeah.
It seems like the apps, they all sort of say, in their small print that, they do their utmost to, guarantee, safety and all of that sort of thing. Yeah, but I'm wondering, like, how on earth can they do that? Because, well, I mean, for example, the US version of Tinder lets you do a background check on a person's name and number via a third party. But, this could reveal if they're convicted of, like, violent crimes or, they're a sex offender or something.
Yeah.
But in Australia, there's an idea that you need an ID to enter the app so that potentially, there's this thought about needing to present an ID to verify who you are. What do you think about that idea?
I'm not anti that idea actually at all. I just think that dating in general is pretty much universally dangerous. Like everyone should treat, even when you meet someone, I suppose when we're at a barbecue and you meet someone's friend who happens to be there, that's actually possibly one of the safest ways to meet someone. But even there, I think that people need to be aware that people aren't always 100% what they present themselves as being, that you are always at risk when you meet with someone alone. 90% of people are going to be relatively safe. But the whole dating thing is, inherently dangerous.
A bit fraught.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I wonder, how your friend managed to suss out that person in 15 minutes, because, doesn't it usually take a number of meetings to see that person in different scenarios and different times of day, different moods,
I think this is actually part of the magic of meeting people in person. It's a bit like with doing Zoom meetings, which are fun. But they're not as great as meeting in person. Like you and I are sitting opposite one another right now. Yeah. And it's
look,
very
I'm
nice to be in the same.
Your body language. I actually
you are.
have my hand on my knee, which is crossed over my other. It's incredible.
You do. You do. So I was going to say, when you meet with someone in the same room, like it is a different thing altogether. And I think it's true, even with dating, that you can pick up tiny, weeny little micro cues about the person you're talking to, that are working busily in your brain so that you're getting the idea, is this person reliable, even straight away, even just saying, do you want a cup of tea or a coffee? I don't know. You will be picking up micro signals.
Like if they've got bad breath or something like that. You're not going to pick that up over Zoom.
Janet, yes.
But
just lean in and breathe on me for a second. Yeah, what?
There should be a little, sort of meter on Zoom, I reckon, that just detects stuff like that.
Breathe in here, breathe out. Yeah.
Here we go again.
Let's talk a bit about what can make you compatible with a new partner. Is there any kind of formula? Because my friend, she has CFS, says that energy level is a big criteria. And she'll often meet guys and they'll say, let's go for a really cool walk along this riverfront.
And she says, I'd rather die than go on that walk.
Yeah. I'll just be at the cafe waiting for you when you get back.
Yes. There's a great song out there, which I always think of, which is by a band called the Lemonheads. Oh. And it's a really great song. It's a really pretty song, actually, as well, called I Lied About Being the Outdoor Type. So, and actually when you see the lead singer, he actually looks very outdoors typey. It's true. So in your profile, you might go, loves bushwalking and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So there's a lot of lying that goes on, and it is true. It is true, but not always 100% true, that actually compatibility on those kind of things is very important. Because actually some people are blithely happy, where one's an absolute bookworm and the other one's a total extrovert, outdoors type. But they're just very good at going, you're that person, I'm this person. And when they're together, they communicate and enjoy one another and don't commit acts of violence against one another.
No, unless you're really into that.
I was going to say, everyone who's married out there will be going, yes, the acts of violence.
Subtle acts of violence.
Subtle, exactly, subtle.
Now, gorgeous, so if you've been through a disastrous marriage and divorce or lost, a partner and you're simply single and 40 plus fabulous, how easy is it to jump back into dating? What do you have any advice for people there?
I think, once again, like with most things in this life, it's to do with your personality. So some people jump back into it super easily. It's it's kind of very annoying if you're not like them. So they turn around and off they go. But for those of us who are perhaps more timid, it's a very confronting idea. And oh my goodness, like swiping on some random human, I think that's actually, and then maybe being rejected, like they kind of take a look at you and go, no.
That's ghosting, right? I've been looking up all these.
Yes.
Catfishing. Tell me catfishing.
Catfishing is when you pretend to be someone you're not. So you might...
Doesn't everybody do that?
Well, to a certain extent, that's right. We all catfish, I suppose. But no, it would be like saying I'm a 27-year-old woman and maybe putting up a picture of us at 27 or maybe our 27-year-old daughter. That kind of,
right.
Something awful
In
like
reality,
that.
you're a 50-year-old guy.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Okay. But ghosting is just when you simply just don't
You
get
just
back
don't
to
respond.
someone. Don't respond to someone.
Yeah, cruel.
Yeah. But with these sort of, the dates, like the Tinder swindler, did you see that?
Yes, I did. I did.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. But what are some of the red flags that someone is perhaps not, say they absolutely sort of love bomb you and, give you gifts, and which I love the idea of that. But, and so you
Isn't it interesting? I don't love the idea of that at all. No. If someone turned up and gave me roses, I'd be furious.
Oh, well, you'd prefer them to be orange roses because I know you love orange.
Well, no, but roses because it's so boringly stereotypical.
Oh, yes,
but you see, we're all different. Like other people would go, thank you. Like that is delightful.
Roses are a bit, they're a bit stereotyped, aren't they? What flower would you prefer?
Daisies.
Daisies?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But they really, they look amazing and when they're fresh, but they really, really stink when they go off. I think we've digressed a lot here for some reason, but we were actually talking about red flags. Like
red flags.
What are some of the things to look out for? Do you think? I mean, I assume not everybody goes into dating being very, very suspicious like I would be. I'm sure.
And I think it's a good idea not to be too uptight. So I'd say, a red flag would be punctuality.
Oh.
Like, but, if you're meeting somewhere that you're unaccustomed to, you might be late. So it's stupid to go, you're 20 minutes late, you must be unreliable. But if the person is repeatedly 20 minutes late, I don't think that's a good sign.
What would that be a sign of? Just unreliability?
A little bit controlling, actually, in that they don't mind you waiting and they're controlling your activity, like you're pinned down and waiting and they're okay with that.
Yeah, but I mean, it must be hard because, I guess you assume that anyone you might date is also dating a whole bunch of other people, right?
I don't think people assume that at all. But
Really?
They should, Janet Evans, they should.
I think they should. Because
I think they should
I would
too.
assume that. Wouldn't you?
Well, no, and call me naive. I would now. I would assume it now. But, well, especially because it is so time-consuming, actually it is a good idea to kind of at least be dating 5 people at the same time or something. So actually that is a fair enough assumption, which I think is quite confronting for people anyway. Like it's quite, kind of distressing, upsetting, like it's not very flattering, so there's a lot of kind of ick
like you're
involved in that.
You're being on the casting couch, basically.
Like having a job interview all the time.
Yeah. I guess it goes with the turf. But also expense, right? Because, I mean, how much – I'm seriously out of touch. So I have no idea how much financially it would cost you to –
Neither do I, though.
Oh, no, right.
Double ignorance here. Yeah,
right. But if you're on a number of apps, then A, it's time-consuming. B, it must be getting expensive for you.
Yeah. A lot of people that I see have basically just stopped and said, actually, I've got to – stop paying and, it's
cost
ridiculous.
of living crunch. Yeah. I wonder if the apps are doing something about that.
Yes, actually, that's a fascinating angle I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, you could have a special on Tin Dog, combined with Sizzler.
Yeah.
I'm sure that used to be a bad restaurant back in the day where you could eat all you wanted, but the dessert bar I remember was pretty good.
The dessert bar was excellent. I remember that too. Anyway, we've digressed again.
But food, I think foodies, is there a foodie app apart from
There should
Sizzler?
be.
There should be because I feel
there must be.
There must be a lot of people who are absolutely into the foodie thing. Other people that I've known who dated, through the apps have said, so many guys have so much baggage from previous relationships. And, it's just like, there's a girlfriend of mine who has an escape strategy. She always goes to the loo and then doesn't come back if she, just doesn't like a guy.
The ultimate ghosting.
Well, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, right?
Actually, I think we need to learn how to be kindly assertive. So, the thing that I suggest to people about assertiveness is that basically the kind of bad news sandwich. So you say something nice, like that's
right, yes.
That's a good slice of bread. Like you say, look, actually, I can't say that it's been unpleasant to meet you.
Oh.
You know, like this
That
is good.
not a nice thing. That's
Okay, fine. Okay, nicer than that.
Nicer than that.
You look very clean and neat. I don't know, something, not that. I wouldn't say you look
you
clean
don't
and
have bad
neat.
breath.
Anyway,
Yep.
I wouldn't say that either. Anyway, say something nice and then say, but I don't think we should waste one another's time anymore. Like you seem like, you know, and then say something else nice. So nice thing, bad thing,
Do you have your own ride home?
Yeah, exactly. And then the kind of nice thing at the end, which is, you know, it has actually genuinely been nice to meet you and I don't want to kind of muck you around. Yeah.
But what if they don't feel like that? What if they are obsessed with you? What if they love you? And what's not to love?
Well, that's scary, isn't it, thinking that you're going to end up with a stalker?
Well, not a stalker necessarily, but just breaking someone's heart. I mean, if
They've only just met you.
Yeah, but, 15 minutes is all it takes, apparently. Changing the subject, though, back to red flags, because some of these victims of sort of online dating scams always seems to come back to money. Eventually, this person sort of pretends they're super wealthy, but they've got some investment that hasn't come through yet, and so they need to borrow some money. I mean, what do you think?
I think that's a massive red flag.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't think, and I think it's fine. Just be straightforward and simple and direct in your own interactions. It's not weird and uncool of you to say, actually, I don't feel comfortable. I think we should be splitting this bill. I don't feel comfortable or if they say you'll need to cover this because actually the money from my multi-million-dollar sale hasn't come through yet.
My Ponzi scheme.
I think even be honest. I know it's hard to be honest sometimes. Just say, look, it has been enjoyable, but I just have a very simple policy not to redate people where something weird like that happens. So I understand that you might be telling me the truth, but actually we're not going to meet up again.
But it could be genuine. I mean,
I know. I'm saying it could be genuine, but no.
So you think a zero money
I'm
tolerance
thinking
policy? Really?
0, 0, 0.
Really?
Yeah, because it is too concerning that indeed it could happen again.
Well, that's interesting because, I mean,
zero.
Oh, wow. You're hardcore, man.
I'm hardcore.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like we're very compatible. Well, one of my pals actually also said recently that he's just exhausted by dating on apps because it's lots of effort. It never works out. Yeah. And,
time consuming, like I say. Yes, that's what most people say.
Incredible.
It's exhausting.
But then, I don't see how it's more time consuming, apart from the fact that you're looking through a lot of images and just making decisions
and you're
in your
going
head,
on a lot of dates. That's very time consuming, Janet.
But that's good because then you can sort out a lot of people.
No, but it takes a long time to sort out, whereas in the bar or pub, as previously mentioned, you can decide very quickly.
Yes, but you're only getting a limited
doesn't matter. Remember, you're in the same room. And if they're not too inebriated, you might get a very fast feeling about them.
Like speed dating.
A bit
back
like
in the day.
Actually,
is it still around?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Actually,
Okay.
I think, well, I just know people who are still doing it.
Sure.
I think speed dating actually is not all that stupid. Of course, it's stupid as well, but at least you're saving time.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I do think you do get a very swift impression
Yes,
of people.
you do. You see, now you're saying that you do, and I think you do.
But not always. And I mean, this is very interesting because there are some people that I've met that I hated on first sight.
Sure.
Absolutely 100%. But then as you get to know them, you're like, oh, no. I made a snap decision that was completely wrong there.
And of course that happens.
And you
start
to doubt your judgment though.
No, I just think it happens sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you first met me, tell me, what was your impression?
I thought you were the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. No, seriously, I actually did. But I really like a bit
hilarious.
quirky. No. I really like a little bit of quirky. And I went, yay.
I liked you because you were irreverent. You were a doctor, but you were like totally out there and just, left of centre.
I never think of myself as being irreverent. There we go.
Really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I know.
I think it's love at first swipe.
I feel like I'm quite quite rebellious, but people
Yes.
never pick it up because they look so conservative.
Oh, you do not. Not with what you're wearing today, baby. Come on. Now, Gorge, so, if us 40-plus fabulous women are dating and we haven't been doing that for a long time, we're a bit set in our ways. How can we overcome that sort of being set in our way thing? Like, if we do actually want a more permanent relationship and not just a fling.
Well, actually, even the fling thing worries me for everyone. Yeah. I think it's true of life in all relationships that you need to yield. The word for today is yield. Yield. You need to yield a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Give a little bit.
And I think it's true in friendships, like same-sex friendships and work colleagues, everything. You just need to yield. Be that person who yields a little bit. I'm not saying have no boundaries, but just yield that little bit. So kind of go, okay, well, I don't love this, but it's safe and okay, I'll just give in on this one. So more that idea. You just have the word yield in your brain a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got that in my brain and I'm still struggling with it. I just, am I the yielding sort, do you think?
No.
Okay, right. Good. I mean, also, I guess another aspect of this whole thing is we know that STIs are on the rise.
Oh, yes. Well,
for
you're moving
women
straight.
over 50.
You see, the problem with you, Janet, is that you've gone, you're straight to the fling.
I want to cut to the chase.
And it is true that a lot of people do swipe on Tinder because they are seriously thinking we're going to have sex on this date. We're having coffee, but we're having sex in the disabled toilet while we're here.
Goodness, I did not go there, but you
Well,
went
I
there,
did, but I thought I would take you there because the truth of the matter is, and in fact it is true, there are some absolute players without a doubt on Tinder who think, and in fact it's like a game. They've made it like a game. That they may say in their profile, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, but they absolutely aren't. So frankly,
Or
just like in life, get to know them before you go anywhere like that.
Oh, words of advice. Or they say they're single, but actually they're not.
Which is true too for a lot of them.
Who would have thought? It's incredible. So what do you do? Like if you do sort of get a little amorous and, you weren't expecting that and then you contract an STI, what should you do about that?
Well, obviously you should see your lovely GP who will look after you.
Okay.
But, and honestly, GPs are seeing it all the time. So you shouldn't think, I won't go.
Wow.
It's too embarrassing or, whatever. Even if you think I will go and see a different GP from my normal one, how about you do that?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Exactly. Go and see anyone anywhere.
Shopping.
And yeah, that's important. But please, for goodness sake, don't get swept away without condoms in your pocket, basically.
Oh, really?
I know. If you've never actually bought condoms before in your whole entire life, which may indeed be 100% true, buy them, put some in your handbag. Of course, at this point, you see, I don't think it's as simple as that, Janet, because there are some people who would no more buy condoms and fly to the moon, and they're very unlikely to give in and actually have sex with anyone without knowing them really, really well.
Meet the right person, you never know. The sparks can fly.
I don't know that the sparks fly that fast.
Oh, yes, they do. That's why it's called Tinder. See?
I know, but it's just Tinder. It's a little tiny weeny flame. It's not a major roaring fire.
Well, it can be fanned into the flames, baby.
Yeah, a little bit later, but yes.
You can yield to your desire. See, I'm using that word, the word for today. I've just twisted
yield
it
does not mean
just a little bit.
Go all the way and get an STD.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's what I've taken out of our discussion. So, gorgeous, if there was an app that you were going to go on, which one do you think it would be? If you had to choose just one.
I have no idea because I haven't really swiped in my whole life. So what do I think? I think they're all risky. So I'm I feel...
but no more risky than just meeting someone in real life.
It's true. It's true. If you're careful about it, no more risky. More time consuming, possibly more expensive, but no more risky if you're a sensible human. Okay, under those provisos, what would I do? Because I honestly don't think that the apps have a different range of people on them. So you could do elite singles. You could, in the hopes that you actually do have a more motivated, serious punter.
Do they charge an elite price tag?
I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. I mean, it's such a gross name. You sort of think anyone who signs up for something with such a gross name is suspect to me right from the start.
Better than CougarD.
Yeah. There are some where it's just,
You know what you're in for.
You know what you're in for. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Yeah. To be perfectly honest, it's a numbers game, like they say, and it's luck. Like luck is involved in this one. That the nice person will have got on the same platform as you and swiped on you as well. Like massively fortunate. It's massively fortunate.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should think I won't do it, but I think you should think this isn't going to be some kind of lucky dip prize. Yeah.
Well, you can mix and match, can't you? I mean, you can get out there to the dog park and
Exactly.
in real life, which you would, and you'll meet some really nice people who have dogs.
Go to your friend's party and see if there is anyone who actually is nice and talks to you, and
give them each 10 seconds and figure them out, and then move on.
Go to speed dating.
Yeah.
Like, do it all. Like, my feeling is it's a numbers game. Do it all.
Go to Sizzler, see if you can go to the all-you-can-eat dessert bar and see who else is there, because then you know you've got something in common with them. Right.
Yeah.
Well, gorgeous. I think we're a perfect match. I'd swipe right on you any day. But that's been really interesting. And I think, there are some warnings in there, and I think there's some good things about it. One of my girlfriends actually met her partner 25 years ago online, so it must have been a match. Yeah, they are so compatible, so happy. And
you hear
right from the
you
get-go.
do hear the good stories,
Jackpot.
but I think you don't also hear the thousands and thousands and thousands of bad ones. Yeah.
Yes. But it has been fascinating talking about dating on the apps, dating over 40. And, a lot of women are obviously going to find themselves in that situation of being single again. So, it's just good to talk about it and just bring it out there.
It is important.
So Sizzler doesn't appeal to you? The bacon one? The bacon app? Really?
No, not at all.
Why not? Don't you like bacon?
I do eat meat occasionally, but it's not the biggest thing in my life.
Oh, okay.
I think it would be, I'd want the app that was the nice person app. I'm just so boring that way. The kind app. I want the kind app.
That's an interesting idea. I think you've got a business opportunity right there. Gorgo, we hope you enjoyed this episode and we adore that you listen in, but we'd love to hear more from you. What you thought of this app, what you'd like us to chat about in future, and we'd really like to thank everyone who's got in touch with us so far and suggested ideas and made comments. Thank you, gorgeous people.
So whatever you have to say, search hopepodcasts.com.au and hit the big pink button that says contact the team. We'll get back to you.
And remember, if you'd like to send us expensive gifts, just park that Lamborghini in the Hope 103.2 foyer. They won't mind.
Join us next week on She Wasn't Born Yesterday. We really look forward to your company.